December 9th, 1997. Time stood still. It was something you just couldn't believe. Elmira's Jeff Reese sadly died trying to lose weight for a wrestling match at the University of Michigan. That year, as part of the Horseheads wrestling team, I vividly remember when Coach Shane Lacey gave us the news. It's so vivid in my mind for someone so young, so vibrant, and with unlimited potential, how they could just die at 21 years old. Jeff Reese wasn't just a wrestler. He represented so much more than that. Work ethic, drive, passion, a state of mind that pushed himself to a level never before seen or since in the Twin Tiers. 23 years later, the loss still stings for so many. But one thing is clear, Jeff Reese will always be respected. He will always be the pinnacle of what wrestling should always be. Not only does Jeff Reese make you believe, he still makes us reach for it all. Because of how the way he did it, he made it to the top, and the way he did it, it was simple. He outworked everybody. A reality as old as time itself, he'll be a legend forever.
College athletics are the breeding ground for perfectionists, overachievers, talent, and commitment. Athletes strive for success and are hungry to become the best of the best. Winning championships, breaking records, achieving life goals, each of these things are prominent characteristics of the college athlete. However, all of this success and praise wouldn't be possible without all the hard work and sacrifice behind the scenes. Several factors play into the deprecation of student athletes' mental health. The pressures to perform, the development of eating disorders, anxiety, depression, and exhaustion all take a huge toll on the human body and can lead to devastating outcomes. College athletes and the role mental health plays has become a hot topic, especially within the last few years. Stories like Katie Meyer of the Stanford women's soccer team, who tragically lost her life to suicide, share how college athletics can push people over the edge, and this isn't anything new. One story in particular takes us to Ann Arbor, Michigan, where the University of Michigan wrestling team faced the heartbreaking realities that can stem from one's commitment to their sport. Jeffrey Lee Reese was born September 27, 1976 to Edwin and Veronica Reese. He was raised in Wellsburg, New York, and was part of the 1995 high school class at Elmira Southside in Elmira, New York. Growing up, Reese had an extensive and impressive wrestling record, coming into his college career compiling a 201-19 career record. Graduating high school, his record was 44-1. Reese's freshman year, he was a spot starter at 142 and 150 pounds, where he wrestled 2 matches at the Big Ten Championships. He had compiled a 6-21 overall record, including a 5-7 mark in tournament action, winning 5 of the first 9 matches, all during open tournament season. From 1996 to 1997, Reese redshirted and was named Michigan's Most Improved Wrestler, but did not see any varsity action. He compiled a 19-4 record in open tournament action, where his 19 tournament victories were second best on the team. He had led the squad with 4 technical falls while also tallying 2 falls. He finished 5th with 4 major decisions and won titles at Muskegon and Miami, Ohio Opens. He had a career best 8-match winning streak during the season and was the 150-pound runner-up at the Edinburgh Open. Weigh-ins were scheduled for 5 p.m. with the understanding of the wrestlers that they could continue to work out to cut weight if not down by then. This allowance was not verbalized by the coaching staff, but previous experience indicated this would be the case. Coach Barr began weighing in athletes at exactly 5 p.m. To the best of my knowledge, approximately 7 of the 10 projected starters weighed in at or very near this time. Jeff, Chris Viola, and I believe Ryan Balcom continued to cut weight. Coach McFarland remained in the wrestling room with these athletes. At this time, I was back and forth between the wrestling room and the training room. It did not appear that any of the above individuals were in a condition that indicated the need for my assistance. The normal weight cutting process is as follows. The athletes may report to practice prior to weigh-ins on average from 3 to 6 pounds above their projected weight. This involves the expected loss of 3 to 4 pounds during practice, but the remainder being cut by other means. Usually the wrestlers will don plastic suits which will be worn under layers of sweats and also stocking caps. Generally, the wrestlers will attempt to break an initial sweat by either biking or running laps in the wrestling room. This period may last as much as 20 to 30 minutes. An interval system is then usually used to cut the majority of the weight. An example of this is approximately 2 minutes biking in the sauna, 5 minutes of rest, and 5 minutes of biking in the wrestling room. This is often repeated numerous times. In addition, the heat in the wrestling room is increased on days of weigh-in. It is normally very hot in the wrestling room. My best estimate is approximately 80 degrees Fahrenheit. I did not personally observe Jeff Reese using the sauna. At some point during the weigh-in process, around 5 p.m., it was brought to my attention that Gandhi Hill, not originally projected to wrestle against Michigan State, would weigh in as an additional competitor at 150 pounds. I was not informed of any problems with Jeff making weight at this time, but rather was told Hill was simply a backup if Reese could not make weight. Coach Barr informed of these changes. I last saw Jeff at approximately 5:30 p.m. on a bike in the wrestling room. Coach McFarland was present in the room at that time. After finishing a few items of paperwork and some treatments in the training room, I ventured back up to the wrestling room to check on the athletes still making weight. On the way, Coach Barr invited me to join the team at Cottage Inn for dinner at around 6 p.m. I said that I would, and he left Chrysler Arena at this time. Chris Viola finished cutting weight at about this time. I spoke with him briefly, gave him something to drink from the training room, and proceeded to follow him to the locker room. Coach McFarland was in the locker room where it appeared that Gandhi Hill had just weighed in. Jeff was not in the locker room. I asked Coach McFarland, who had not made weight, and if he thought it was necessary for me to stay when he indicated that Reese was not finished. He told me to go to dinner and that he would stay with Jeff. His staying behind with an athlete to work out was not something out of the norm. At this time, no indication was given that Jeff was in physical distress or in need of assistance. I left Chrysler Arena at 6:10 p.m. for the team dinner at Cottage Inn. After failing to shed the last 1.7 pounds during a December 9th workout, Jeff Reese asked Joe McFarland, Michigan's assistant wrestling coach, at about 6:30 p.m. if he could delay his weigh-in until the next morning, according to documents obtained through a Freedom of Information request Friday by the Free Press. But in a statement to Michigan investigators, McFarland said he reminded Jeff that he would have to be certified this evening as scheduled or would not be able to compete. The statement to police indicates that Reese was wearing a sauna suit, cotton sweatpants, and a blue stocking cap while he rode a stationary bike in a 92-degree room. He also sat in a sauna twice for 2 minutes. At about 8 p.m., Reese collapsed while making his way towards a scale. He was pronounced dead less than an hour